What's going on, YouTubers? It's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to Impact Wrestling Review, the show from July 6th, 2019. And for this episode of Impact Wrestling and Booker T's Reality of Wrestling presents Deep Impact. This was taking place at the World Gym Arena in Houston, Texas. Your commentators were Josh Matthews, Scott Demoy, and Brad Gilmore. Now, Brad Gilmore is the commentator for Reality of Wrestling, but they got two commentators from Impact Wrestling within Josh Matthews and Scott Demoy. Now, I don't understand why we needed two Impact commentators, or where you could just have one commentator for Impact Wrestling. Which it could have been Josh Matthews, because Impact Wrestling, for some reason, Impact Wrestling loves Josh Matthews on commentary. But Scott Demore was not needed on this commentary. But and there's a good reason why, because this show was basically orchestrated, where it was Impact Wrestling versus ROW, and it's kind of like what WWE Survivor Series, what pertains to the brand split, where you had the winner of the respective companies, promotions, whichever you want to say, will get a point, and the one with the most points wins. Basically, having bracket rights of who is the best company, obviously. Well, folks, let's get right to what happened here then. Because also one minor note here two. Excuse me there. One minor note here. Brad Gilmore kept mentioning Booker T. Booker T was not on the show. He wasn't featured on the show. Obviously, he was working backstage. Obviously, at the backstage, where we're behind the scenes, where he calls it back behind that place. Basically where pertains to WWE's backstage scene, the gorilla position. I don't know what Booker T calls his that position is, but anyways, so they kept mentioning Booker T on commentary so many times, basically, because this is Booker T's promotion. Hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Distracted a little bit. But as I was saying, they kept saying, Josh Matthews kept bringing up Booker T, Scott DeWarden kept bringing up Booker T, and even Brad Gilmore brought up Booker T. Because something about getting paid 5 cents by mentioning his name on commentary, or whatever. It was some kind of joke they said. Like, who cares? Commentary wasn't the best. It was decent. But anyways, you had Jordan Grace from Impact Wrestling versus Alex Garcia from Reality of Wrestling. Match itself, it was pretty decent. To open up the show. In the end, it was Jordan Grace winning with the Grace Driver, which gives Impact the first point of the night. Then we get Jonathan Vega and Diego de la Cruz being part of this faction called La Familia versus Dez and Wentz, being accompanied by Trey of the Rascals. Match itself, it was pretty good too. It was pretty good. Then pertains to a tag team match in a way. But yeah, in the end, it was La Familia getting the win with their finishing double team move. I don't remember what it was called, but they ended up winning. Basically, La Familia from Reality of Wrestling facing the Rascals from Impact Wrestling, obviously, and so now Reality of Wrestling got 1.2. Then we get to Moose versus Mysterious Q. Mysterious Q was he was a big dude, but he was not bigger than Moose. Obviously, Moose was still taller than him. He was muscular. He was also muscular. He also was wearing a mask, and I thought he was pretty impressive. The match itself, it was pretty decent. In the end, Moose wins the match with the no jackhammer needed spear, and now we get Impact Wrestling with 2 points and Reality of Wrestling with 1 point. Then we get to a 12-man scramble match for the winner will become the Reality of Wrestling TV champion. And the current defending TV champion was Aiden Christinino, I guess how you say his name. Who's from obviously from Reality of Wrestling, who's the current Reality of Wrestling TV champion. And you also have Cameron Cole from Reality of Wrestling, Brian Keefe from Reality of Wrestling, Will Allday from Reality of Wrestling, and they're returning. And this is on a note here. Thanks to what was said here. From Brad Gilmore is his name, and the commentator that I mentioned before, Brad Gilmore. Yes, Brad Gilmore mentioned that he's I'm assuming this is what he said. This is the returning to action after some kind of injury he had before in Brandon Steen. That's what he's called, Brandon Steen, also from Reality of Wrestling. Also another guy from Reality of Wrestling, some guy named Isaiah, and that was it. That was his name, Isaiah. And then guys from Impact Wrestling, like Josh Alexander, Dave and J. Christ, Ethan Page, Matt Fulton, and Willie Mack. It was just the over the top battle royal, and the last two standing in the match would have to face each other in a 1-on-1 match for the title. And basically, it was for the title. So you have Keith, who got eliminated first. You got Fulton, who got eliminated by everybody. Also you have Christino and Paige getting eliminated. So basically, with Aiden, I think again, I'm assuming that's his name. Aiden Christino. He got eliminated along with Ethan Page. Now we're gonna crown a new Reality of Wrestling TV champion. But back to Matt Fulton. Like I said, he got eliminated by everybody. Not everybody from Impact Wrestling, but everybody from Reality of Wrestling that was in the match. Dave and J. Chris were eliminated afterwards. Isaiah got eliminated. Then we got Cole eliminated. And no, not Adam Cole, baby. I'm talking about Cameron Cole. We Mack eliminated by All Day. All Day got eliminated immediately by Steen. And then it was now between Josh Alexander versus Brandon Steen. And then now we have Ethan Page come back at ringside to coach and be at ringside, obviously, the root for his partner, Josh Alexander, because this is for the title, to crown new TV champion. And sure enough, the match was up between Josh Alexander and Brandon Steen was pretty decent. And Brandon Steen, I thought he was pretty decent in the match. As a wrestler, he was pretty decent. In the end, Brandon Steen picks the win over Josh Alexander to become the new TV champion after a jackknife pin, basically an upset. In a way to protect Josh Alexander of losing. And there you go. And that now leads to 2 points for Reality Wrestling, and again 2 points for Impact Wrestling. So now it's tied up again. We get Sami Callihan versus Terrell Temple. Match itself was pretty good, but then ended by a double countout. So and they start fighting afterwards, and so basically no points given for either team, obviously. Michael Elgin versus the Reality of Wrestling Texas champion in Moonshine Mandel. And it was a non-time match. And they're having a match, and I thought it was a good match between the two. And then all of a sudden we get the North coming down. Weird. To cost Moonshine the match. So basically Michael Elgin wins the match. Basically in a way to protect Moonshine Mandel. So yeah, Michael Elgin gets the win. So this gives Impact Wrestling 3 points now. And with Reality Wrestling, 2 points. I'll say myself, okay. And then the whole thing with the whole North connection, Canadian connection, whatever, Canada connection in a way. Because Michael Elgin is from Canada. Same thing with the North. Josh Alexander and Ethan Page. So I guess that was at least they came up with some kind of excuse of why that happened. But at the same time, it was also the in a way to to protect Michael Elgin too of him if he would have lost. I don't know. It was strange though, but whatever. We get Gino versus Eddie Edwards. Match itself was pretty good, and Gino, I like this guy Gino. Never heard him before, but after seeing him, he is a prick to fans, by the way. And he's obviously I think he's from Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he was a good heel, and he's a very good wrestler, and he beats Eddie Edwards. I don't remember how he beat him, but he basically snapped him between the ropes and got the win over Eddie Edwards, and it was a good match. And then yeah, so now we got 3-3. Basically, I don't want to drop my tablet because I'm basically 3 points for Impact Wrestling and 3 points for Reality of Wrestling. But yeah, Gino from Reality Wrestling and Eddie Edwards from Impact Wrestling. And let me say this too: Michael Elgin from Impact Wrestling and Moonshine Mantel from Reality Wrestling. Next, we get to the Diamond Division Champion, which is their version of the Women's Championship, and also the Knockouts Division Championship. Also their version also has the Knockouts Championship. But yeah, you have the Diamond Division Champion, AQA, that's her name, versus Haina. I did say her name too. Or Hyen. I think it's Hyen. Versus Su Young, who's being covered by Jessica Havoc, but then Su Young tells her to go backstage. She could do this on her own. Versus Tessa Blanchard. And this is a non-title match, a 4-way non-title match. Tessa Blanchard was damn good. Su Young was decent. Hyen was my first time seeing her. I thought she was good. As far as AQA, there were some spots that she messed up. She was botchy, and at one point she got sloppy. And I say to myself, why is she the champion? Why is she the champion in Reality of Wrestling? Based on how I saw her performance, she was trash. There was some other spots I thought she did was good because she's very athletic and all that, but the rest of the stuff that basically she made Su Young look bad. She made Tessa Blanchard look bad. She even made Hyen look bad too. Like what's with this girl? And she's supposed to be the champion of for the women in this Diamonds division for Reality of Wrestling. And she performed like that. I was disappointed. And then it make matters even worse. Tessa Blanchard pins Hyen to win the match with the Magnum, which is the lung blower off the top rope or second rope in a way, like a code breaker type of basically going for like flying code breaker in midair. That's just Blanchard flies off the top the turnbuckle, I meant to say, to her opponent to catch it up with the lung blower. But anyways. Hell, you could have Su Young lose the match, but instead you had to have Hyen lose the match instead. And based on how I heard about her from for Brad Gilmore, she wrestled a couple of times in Japan, and it showcased how good she is, and then she loses. And meanwhile, someone like AQA doesn't lose, and after the match, she gets in the face of Tessa Blanchard and holds the belt in the air, and I say to myself, yeah, but you didn't win the match though. You like. And Tessa Blanchard was like doing this, and basically brushes her off yeah, exactly, because Tessa Blanchard is better than AQA, and AQA is still raising the belt like she's done something. No, you didn't win the match, and you should have lost the match, by the way. I thought she sucked. Yeah, this is my first time seeing her and all that, but based on how I seen her for the first time, I thought she was garbage. Made everyone in that match look bad. But Tessa Blanchard wins, and now Impact Wrestling 4 points, Reality Wrestling 3 points. We get to the Reality Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Fly Death, which is Zach Zilla, I'm guessing that's his last name, and Warren J versus LAX in a non-title match. Match itself, a tag team match, was pretty good. And then you got Moonshine Mantel coming in to interfere to cost LAX the match. Basically getting back at Impact Wrestling. For what Impact Wrestling did, during his match against Michael Elgin, what pertains to the North interfering, and now he's returning the favor to LAX. I'm like, wow. So Fly Death from Radio Wrestling gets the win, but after they hit their double team finishing move, which I forgot what they called it, on either Ortiz, I think it was, or Santana, whichever of the two. LAX on Impact Wrestling. So now it's 4 and 4. 4 for Impact Wrestling, 4 for Reality of Wrestling. One moment, folks. And now we get to the main event, where the winner of this final match, between someone from Reality Wrestling, or for someone from Impact Wrestling, will get 5 points and will win for their promotion, their brands, their company, of bragging rights for on Deep Impact. And the main event was Reality of Wrestling champion himself, Ryan Davison, versus X Division champion Rich Swann in a winner take all match. Basically, it was a winner take all match with a chance to win the titles. For example, Ryan Davison's Reality of Wrestling Championship title was on the line from Reality of Wrestling. Rich Swann's X Division Championship title from Impact Wrestling. Both of the titles were on the line. Title for title, winner take all. And match itself, it was pretty good. Obviously, with Rich Swann being good in the match. And basically, Brad Gilmore. Yeah, Brad Gilmore. I was keep forgetting his last name. Brad Gilmore referred Ryan Davidson as the final boss. I don't know why. I don't get it. But it's whatever. But they had a match and all that. I thought it was good. And then all of a sudden we get the Reality Wrestling roster coming out to be up on Rich Swann. And then we get the entire Impact Wrestling roster coming out to even the odds. And referee had to call for the bell and call for a no contest. So basically, no team wins bragging rights. And they all start brawling. There's a lot of commotion going on. We get referees coming out to try to break it up. Now, as a matter of fact, I don't remember there was referees coming out or not, but the show ended with chaos, and that was it. The show was over, and I thought the show was good. The show was actually pretty good. Sorry about that, folks. Well, yeah, that was the show. So there was no bragging rights for either of Impact Wrestling or for Reality Wrestling, because there was no decided winner for the final match, because a double disqualification. In a way, you protected both companies, to make them look bad. Talking about wrestling for Impact Wrestling Deep Impact. The show from July 6, 2019. Hold on, let me double check here. $11 matches. Wow. There were 11 matches on the show for Deep Impact, what pertains to Impact Wrestling and Reality Wrestling doing the show together. And my overall rating for the show, I'm going to go 8 out of 10. This show was pretty good. Finally, a show that I thought was good, what pertains to Impact Wrestling, going to a promotion that's not RCW, BCW, or other indie feds. But this indie fed, Reality Wrestling, Booker T's promotion, it was way better. So props to that. So that being said, folks, thank you all for watching. It's the Natural Born Driller, saying peace on the streets. For this was your Impact Wrestling review, what pertains to Impact Wrestling and Reality of Wrestling Deep Impact.